Group's presentation of The Office, created by Dominic Pisata-Wilcher, Frederick Freeman, Kevin Foley, Joshua Smith, Eric Andre, and Ramos Jean. Alright, this is the character outline. The main character is Michael Scott. He is the branch manager of the Scranton branch of Dunder Mifflin Paper Company. Later in the show, he creates his own company titled Michael Scott Paper Company, Inc. Preceding that, he becomes the branch manager again for Dunder Mifflin Sabre. He is an extrovert and uses humor to avoid most stressful situations. Dwight is the assistant to the regional manager in selling paper. He lacks typical social skills and common sense, and also hates his sales partner, Jim, although the two of them make a good team together. Jim Halbert is a salesman for Dunder Mifflin Sabre and has a very big crush on a fellow employee named Pam, who he eventually marries. He is the most level-headed person on the show. Pam is the receptionist there, and she appears shy and hesitant at times, but she is very kind and has a good sense of humor. Ryan Howard, he is portrayed as the young guy at the office that likes to keep up with all of the latest trends. Everyone at the office perceives him as a very attractive and knowledgeable. Andy Bernard is a salesman there, and he enjoys singing a cappella and playing the guitar. Our first episode is called The Traveling Salesman. In episode 1, it covers 3 main topics. The topics that we cover are focus strategy, competitive advantage, and industry competitive forces. The office provides video evidence of vital information that relates directly to the course concepts. Though the use of the video evidence, the goal is to shine a light of these strategies for benefits for the future manager. Being an ideal manager begins with what the employees respond to. These strategies are not the best and only option to go about it, but these are reasonable ways of achieving each goal.
Here is the dream team. My sales dream team. Today we are going to team up for sales calls.
Andy, since this was your idea, you get to pick first.
Well, let me think about this for a minute. Oh, I don't know. Michael Scott, PhD, Doctor of Sales.
Well, I appreciate that. That's very gracious of you.
Well, it is very gracious of you to accept.
Well, thank you, sir. Okay, now going by seniority, Phyllis, our resident senior.
We're the same age. I'll pick Karen. Oh, thanks.
Good. Next up, the Superfly himself, Stan Lee.
Yes.
You can't pass, you gotta pick somebody.
I'll take the kid.
I'm very flattered. I was his second choice after pass. So that just leaves Dwight and Jim.
Okay, wait. Anyone want to trade? Yep, trade.
Why are we turning in here? This is a beauty salon.
Hey, do you mind if I take the lead on this one, and then you can critique me after?
You want the lead?
Yeah, if you don't mind.
Mine? Nothing would delight me more.
Hey, Pam.
You still do that thing?
Leave the keys. I think
Focus strategy, a strategy that targets a particular market segment, focusing on either cost leadership or differentiative strategies. The importance of focus strategy is finding what the customer values the most, using their values to the benefit of the seller, useful in gaining a competitive advantage.
Big order. Thanks, Ken. Yeah, thank you. Hey, how's Annie?
Oh, she's great. This is us last year in Bermuda. Lovely place. You ever been to Bermuda? Stanley?
Competitive advantage, the ability of a firm to win consistently over the long term in a competitive situation. How are competitive advantages created? Managing resources to provide goods and services. These resources meet these criteria. Provide superior value, rare or difficult to imitate, non-substitutable, and competitive advantage precedes the sales of the business.
I appreciate what you guys are saying, but it makes more fiscal sense to go with one of the big guys.
Sure, that's true. We can't compete with their prices, but let me ask you something. How important to you is customer service?
Very.
Holding, your call is very important to us.
It's one of the big guys. Been on hold this whole time.
And this is Thunder Mifflin.
Customer service, this is Kelly.
Hey, Kelly, it's Jim.
Oh my God, Jim, how are you? So excited.
Here's my card. It's got my cell number, my pager number, my home number, and my other pager number. I never take vacations, I never get sick, and I don't celebrate any major holidays.
All right. I get it. We got a deal.
Right. Thanks.
All the time with my stepdad, and I never caught anything that big. But an 80-pound shark off Montauk. It's in the Hamptons. Dad's got a 42-foot bayliner and sniped it with a rifle from the crow's nest. Also shot a deer once. You know what? Let's get right down to it. Dunder Mifflin may be just 2 rooms in a warehouse, but what we lack in flash, we will make up for with hard work and decency. This is
Industry and competitive forces. 5 environmental forces that can significantly influence the performance of organizations in an industry. The 5 forces are bargaining power of suppliers, bargaining power of buyers, threat of substitutes, threat of new entrants, industry rivalry. Attempting to overcome these forces. And our second episode is about healthcare. In the wild, there is no healthcare. Here's a clip.
What did I do? I did my job. I slashed benefits to the bone. I saved this company money. Was I too harsh? Maybe. I don't believe in coddling people. In the wild, there is no healthcare. In the wild, healthcare is, ow, I hurt my leg. I can't run. A lion eats me, and I'm dead. Well, I'm not dead. I'm the lion. You're dead. All right, who did this? I'm not mad. I just want to know who did it so I can punish them.
What are you talking about?
Someone forged medical information, and that is a felony.
Okay, whoa. All right, because that's a pretty intense accusation.
Yeah.
How do you know that they're fake?
Leprosy, flesh-eating bacteria, hot dog fingers, government-created killer nanorobot infection. You did this, didn't you?
Absolutely not.
Yes, you did.
No, I didn't.
I know it was you. Okay, fine. You know what? I'm gonna have to interview each and every one of you until the perpetrator makes him or herself known. And until that time, there will be no healthcare coverage for anyone. The problem, Jim, is that people who are really suffering from a medical condition won't receive the care they need because someone in this office is coming up with all this ridiculous stuff. Count Chocolitis.
Sounds tough.
Why did you write that down, Jim? Is it because you know I love Count Chocula?
Do you?
I think you need to confess the fact.
Yep.
That, what are you doing?
What?
Those are my keys.
Good luck.
What? Jim! Damn it! No! Jim, let me out! Jim, let...
The light gray, the green, Jim Halpert?
Let me out.
Who is this?
Let me out or you're fired.
No, you can't fire me.
Yes, I can. I'm manager for the day. Clean out your desk.
Okay. Can you hold on 1 second? I'm getting a beep. Jim Halpert.
Hey, Jim, it's Pam.
Hey, Pam. How are you?
Jim?
Good, how are you?
I'm
busy?
doing okay. Getting excited for the weekend now.
Yeah.
Yeah, what are you up to?
I'm not bothering you, am I?
No, not
You
at all.
don't have anything you're doing?
I have nothing to do.
Oh, great.
Jim?
Yeah, no, this weekend, nothing. I'm not really doing anything.
Oh, yeah?
Might go to the mall.
The mall?
I need new shoes.
Oh, interesting. What kind of shoes?
Hello?
hello. This is Dwight Schrute calling for Jan Levinson Gould.
This is Jan.
Hi. Dwight Schrute calling, acting manager, Scranton Branch. Listen, I needed your permission to fire Jim Halpert.
Who is this?
Dwight Schrute?
From sales?
Well,
Where's Michael Scott?
he is not here right now. He put me in charge of the office.
Dwight, listen to me very carefully. You are not a manager of anything. Understand?
That's not entirely true because he put me in charge of picking the healthcare plan.
In episode 2, it covers many topics which include the boundedness rationality model of management decision-making, the use of selective perception and wrong decision-making, and employing heuristics when making important managerial decisions for a company or business. Being a good manager can include having the ability to make the right decisions above all else, because if a manager is unable to do so, then the whole foundation or a company or business will become tumbling down. We showed you a video of evidence of how the office can effectively prove that even though the bounded rationality model framework of managing can sometimes work, it is most ineffective and keeps managers from allowing their company to reach their absolute best potential. Michael assigns Dwight the job of picking a healthcare plan instead of doing it himself. Dwight chooses an absurd plan that will affect everyone in the office. Employees of Dwight do not agree with Dwight's plan and blame Michael for not choosing himself. Bounded rationality model. The bounded rationality model states that people usually settle for acceptable rather than search for the best alternative to a problem. Usually it is not beneficial to a company and is not considered good managerial decision-making. Managers should choose the best option if they have the resource, or should strive to achieve the best possible outcome regardless of how hard it is to achieve. Employees want their healthcare plans to be revised. Dwight plans on revising, but obviously wants there to be a little change to the plan as possible. Selective perception in decision-making. Selective perception is the process of when individuals tend to perceive what they want while opposing different viewpoints or stances that opposes theirs. Most times it is not good when applying their concepts to important business decisions because a manager must consider all factors that affect the business, allows room for errors and mistakes. Michael tries to make excuses and hide in order to not make the decision himself. Employ heuristics in order to satisfy. Heuristic is a form of problem solving that involves not being optimal when making a decision and choosing the sufficient means to achieve a goal. Not always helpful and can diminish the quality of a goal. Minimum creation is good for a broader understanding of a goal, but it is not that beneficial to a manager or company when employed in a managerial decision making. The alternative should be used when you absolutely cannot find another way to solve a problem. Dwight's selective perception causes him to employ the use of heuristics and to finalize a not-so-great healthcare plan for everyone in the office. Michael takes no responsibility as a manager that he is. In episode 3, covers many topics, which include using the internal strengths of an office culture, of making decision-making, implementation of company policy, and the use of external opportunities when trying to seal a professional deal with a new client. Also, this episode overall teaches individuals about the importance of strategic management and the importance of using culture and internal strengths to achieve long-term goals. When using different methods and strategies in order to display the internal strengths in office's culture of management, one must see the importance of communication within the office and management team, and the teamwork which includes having the ability to make the right decision above all else when the situation occurs. Also, the episode was able to display the work ethic and internal strengths of my employees based off their practices and see the impact it can have on the company's business. Although practicing ethical leadership can influence employees' attitudes, the practice can extend and benefit many other parts of the business. The importance of strategic management. In the episode, Michael Scott is using internal strengths and office culture to try to get a client who represents the entire branch of Dunder Mifflin's company in the county as a governmental paper distributor. Thus, whiffing his client over may allow Dunder Mifflin to keep one of their closing branches. Michael Scott and Jan Levinson make their way to a meeting point for the meeting with an important client. This episode shows the importance of internal strengths and culture rather than going by the books. Jan wants to try and play everything by the book and implement company policy during the meeting with his important client. By doing this, Jan begins to take into account the results of the risk with the assessment and doesn't really focus on the relationship and culture aspects of the meeting. Michael, on the other hand, feels as though it is important to try and gain the client's trust and tell inappropriate jokes and orders alcohol before trying to cut a deal with the client. Michael displays the importance of using culture and internal strengths in order to build trust with the company to achieve their long-term goals. Michael tries to use external opportunities to try and seal the deal with a new client. Jan finds Michael's methods disgustful initially, but then after she realizes she is wrong, she too orders alcoholic beverages and goes along with Michael's plan. This practice of strategic management enables the client to feel at ease and trusting of the company in order to consider working with the business. In the end, Michael's unorthodox business strategy allows him and Jan to win over the new client and gain his trust, and in turn save the jobs of many Dunder Mifflin workers. This episode was able to touch on office culture, which is when employees value rewards that are not associated with the behaviors displayed by managers for the overall company's potential long-term outcome. Also, they were able to display strategic management with their team by communicating and combining analysis, formulation, and implementation when trying to perceive as much as better than their competitive advantage. And that is the end of our presentation.